It's a privilege and an honor to present to you for our first speaker, future priest Yaakov Hawkins. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. You may be seated. May the peace of Yahweh be with each and every one of you. Now today, if you will please turn over to Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. And it reads, "And it will be, if you will listen diligently to the voice of Yahweh your Father, by observing and doing all his laws, which I command you this day, that Yahweh your Father will set you high above all the nations on the earth, as his kings and priests. And all these blessings will come upon you and accompany you, because you obey Yahweh your Father." So, as we see in verse 1, if we listen diligently to the voice of Yahweh our Father and do what he says, then we'll have these blessings. Now, these are the blessings that come from keeping the laws and obeying the one sent and all our authorities. Now, if you turn or go to verse 15, and it reads, "However, if you do not obey Yahweh your Father, and do not carefully follow all his laws and his statutes, which I command you this day, then all these curses will come upon you and accompany you." So if you don't obey, curses will come upon you and your children and grandchildren. Now, go to verse 22 now. It says, "Yahweh will strike you with consumption, with a fever, with an inflammation, with scorching heat, and with the sword, with blasting, and with mildew. They will stay with you until you perish. And the heaven that is over your heads shall be brass, and the earth under you shall be iron." These are from the nuclear war. Now, verse 27, "Yahweh will afflict you with the disease of Egypt, with tumors, with festering sores, and the itch from which you cannot be healed. Yahweh will afflict you with madness, spiritual blindness, and confusion of the mind." Now, what we're seeing here in the world and in these children in the world, why we're having these shootings is because the people rejected Yahweh's laws. They rejected the peaceful solution, and now they're receiving the curses that we're reading right here in Deuteronomy 15. Now, these are the curses from breaking the laws. Now, as we know in Romans 1 verse 28, it shows how they rejected the peaceful solution. And in Leviticus 19 verse 32, it says to honor the priest and do what they tell you to do. Stand up for the gray-headed. Now, if we don't do that, we will receive these curses in Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 64. Now, in conclusion, I'd like to tell you to be obedient, follow instructions, or we will all receive these curses that it talks about here. And with that, I'll turn it over to Deacon Twakia for prayer.